number 3.
Wow!
4th overall selection in the 2025 NHL Upper Deck entry draft belongs to the Utah Hockey Club.
Wow. The stories in Utah, Frank.
In the books, and what a ride it's been, right? Still a lot more to come and to be excited about for the future of this team. And here to take a look at it with us and some of these future possible moves is our Utah Mammoth insider for KSLSports.com. It's Cole Bagley. Cole, thanks for stepping in the studio and talking hockey.
Yeah, it's weird to be known as the Mammoth insider now. There's a muscle memory that goes along with the Utah Hockey Club. The Mammoth's awesome.
A lot of excitement surrounding it, no doubt about it. All right, so first things first here. Let's look at the more imminent future here. The Mammoth, they won the jackpot at the NHL draft lottery, moving up 10 spots to number 4. A team that already was so close to the playoffs, that already has a lot of young talent on the team in place. What does the number 4 pick do for this franchise in that position?
Yeah, it's just continued momentum. You know, when you consider everything that the Mammoth were able to experience this last year in terms of, you know, the budding stardom of Logan Cooley and Dylan Gunther, Vejmelka, Keller, Sergachev playing as well as they have, to have, you know, the 6th overall pick and another later pick last year, and then to get the 4th overall pick this season with 0 of the pain associated with it. That's something that Bill Armstrong talked about was, look, usually to pick inside the top 5, you're going through a lot of pain, and this organization has felt that. But this one, no pain associated, and the momentum just keeps going forward for this club.
Yeah, we saw his reaction. There was no pain in his reaction to winning that lottery pick number 4, obviously, as well. So let's take a look at who you think could be options here at number 4. I think a lot of people say that Matthew Schaefer is going to be the number 1 pick. Is there a chance that he's there at number 4?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to outline the fact that he's probably going to be the number 1 pick, or at least 2. But, there's some worry because this is a guy that only played 17 games this last season. It would take a lot of confidence to pick a guy like that, number 1 overall. So I think just making sure people understand that. But there is a chance, based on things that I've heard and conversations I've been a part of, he could potentially fall. And if he falls at 4, the Mammoth would definitely want to make him, at least the first ever player drafted to wear a Mammoth sweater.
It's not like Cooper Flagg. He's not falling at all in the NBA. There's a chance here. All right. But if Schaefer is off the board, as it's probably not going to be there at number 4. So if he's off the board and maybe they want to go on the offensive side of the ice instead of defense, who do you like there?
I really like Porter Martone. He's 6'3", and he is one of those players that is able to, continuously make incredible things happen. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot of individual, brilliance. He's phenomenal with the puck on his stick. He's also a pest. He's obnoxious. He's going to bug, defensemen. He's going to go in the dirty areas. He's going to, jab you with your stick, with his stick, or, push you around in the crease. And that is what Utah needs more of is a guy that's willing to go and do the dirty work. And I really like Porter Martone if he's available at number 4.
Yeah, if there's a mold of a player that Bill Armstrong likes, he likes those big players. Martone certainly would fit in that mold. Now, one thing Bill also has been talking about recently is there's a lot of championship-winning players on this roster. Most recently, it's been Keller, Cooley, Doan, Kesselring, all 4 of them a part of that World Championship team with USA. And winning does a lot for a franchise. What can it do for the Utah Mammoth already this season, having those 4 guys who are already leaders on the team bring championship winning experience now to the locker room?
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that's stepping into year 5 of the rebuild. And they've gone through a lot of pain, as we already talked about. But what Bill is doing, and like you said, is he's adding championship mentality. He's adding championship experience. He did that a year ago by signing Ian Cole and Kevin Stan and Ole Mata, guys that have won Stanley Cups. He just added 2 prospects in Daniil Boughton and Dmitry Simashev, who just won in the KHL. Mm-hmm. And now we're getting, these Americans who just did something, they made history. Right. They won a gold medal for the first time since 1933 at the World Championships. And that only has to add confidence. And not just confidence in general, but confidence in young players. Guys like Doan and Kesselring and Logan Cooley, who's only 21 years old. Not only did they win gold, but Logan Cooley led All-Americans with 12 points. Mm-hmm. I think he had 4 goals, 8 assists. Mm-hmm. It helps them get a taste of what it takes to win, right? It helps them understand what that takes going through adversity. A mentality that this team is seeking, which is a championship mentality, because now that you're stepping into year 5 of that rebuild, you don't want to talk about the rebuild anymore. Mm-hmm. You want to talk about competing and contending for Stanley Cups, and that's really what they're looking to do.
Okay, you can read everything that Cole has on the Utah Mammoth over at KSLSports.com, and we'll have you back again next week as we continue to get closer. Now, 4 weeks away to the NHL draft.